Welcome to Around the Diamond podcast with Alec and Brad. Let's dive in. Tonight on the show, we're going to start the show with talking about some news out of Red Sox land. Brad probably knows what I'm talking about, but we'll get to it in a minute, as well as our weekend preview and much more. But without holding back, let's get started with the news that broke at the end of last week when the Red Sox were in Baltimore. Alex Cora and a whole host of other coaches getting the old, as we like to call it, the old pink slip that says, "You fired. Go find a new job." So I want to see, since you're the resident Red Sox fan here, Brad, I want to let you have first crack at this. Feel free to try to keep it PG. But what are
I
your
won't. I
feelings
won't
and
test.
thoughts on the Red Sox getting rid of Cora and Jason Varitek, which everybody seems to be outraged about that?
Yeah, I think honestly with the Red Sox, it starts with Breslow. I honestly the GM, and maybe even ownership for that matter, not wanting to spend money for the last few years. Now they sure they want to spend money or whatever, but I think it starts with Breslow at the top. Now, yeah, I'm one of those that was actually upset that they let Veritek go. He actually says he resigned, so they didn't fire him. He just resigned. So, um, and it did say that he did get an undisclosed role within the organization, so he's not totally gone from the Red Sox organization. And Veritek will always be a fan favorite, number 33. Um, but yeah, we didn't get off to too good of a start this year. Obviously, we were slow. We obviously have regressed because of we were pretty good last year, and it looks pretty good so far since Alex Cora's gone. They won 2 games in a row for the first time all season. So maybe it was one of those things where it was time for Cora to go. I know the Phillies also fired their manager, and they actually checked in with Alex Cora to see if he wanted to come be their manager in Philadelphia. And I'm like, wow, that's okay. That's fine. Do what you want to do. Um,
And
but
Cora said, "Yeah, no thanks."
yeah, and they brought Don Mattingly in, so that there you go for the
And I'm going to say this: Phillies fans, ask ask Marlins fans how it is to have Don Mattingly as your manager. Have
well.
fun in last place.
He did win Manager of the Year a few years ago, so
He did,
in the
but
National League.
that's during the COVID season. And this is a completely different Don Mattingly. And take into account the Phillies had a doubleheader today. They won the first game 3-2, and they're about to start their second game. Well, they just started their second game with the Giants. And you know who this benefits? The Rays. Because they were probably thinking, oh, the Giants are going to come in here rested, and we're going to get a good 3-game set. I still think it's going to be a good 3-game set.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to our weekend series preview, that is one of the series I'm previewing, but there's a different reason for it. But since they're playing a doubleheader, the Giants, I know it's in Philly, but they won't get into to St. Pete till probably, let's say, maybe midnight, maybe later,
Maybe
depending
later.
on what time this game gets over, and then they have to pack all their equipment up, get on a
Mm-hmm.
plane, unless they're going to take a bus ride from Philly to St. Pete, which would you do that instead of flying?
I don't think so. I'm assuming that they're going to probably fly, even though because it's not that far of a flight from Miami. Might be an hour or two. They might get here quicker. So,
No, from San Francisco, I'm talking about.
oh, from San Francisco.
Well,
Uh,
yes, and the Phillies, because the Phillies go to Miami.
yes, yeah. Um, I think they do. They do. It's going to be late, so obviously tomorrow, they'll get in here early tomorrow morning. I'm assuming they'll have time to get rest and get up and go to batting practice and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see. But yes, it definitely will favor the home team.
It will. But back to the Red Sox. I've heard people saying, "Oh, there's going to be a fire sale at the deadline. They're going to trade Duran. They're going to trade Yoshida. They're going to trade Bayo. They're going to trade this guy. They're going to trade that guy." Do you see them having something like that, having a fire sale or trading off some veterans?
I don't think so. I think it's still too early to tell. There's still a lot of baseball left for that to happen before the deadline. So now, if they're in the same spot that they are now, yes, I could definitely see them trading away pieces for future pieces. But I don't see that happening right now. I think it's too early to jump to conclusions that they would have a
Well,
fire
and the
sale.
one thing I'm going to say is people want to keep putting Jaron Duran and having him be like a match with the Padres. Because that's all we heard the entire offseason and trade deadline last year was Duran to the Padres, Duran to the Padres. Who are the Padres going to give up to get Jaron Duran?
I don't know. It's a good
They
question.
don't have a farm system. They don't have prospects because it's AJ Preller. And do we even need to mention what AJ Preller's capable of at the trade deadline?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about mortgaging the future, obviously.
Nope. He does
Ask
not.
Leo DeVries. Leo DeVries was signed by the Padres. He was a lifelong Padres fan. He wanted to debut for the Padres, but he gets traded to the A's. And I mean, it's working out for him so far. But to wrap up this segment, who do you think? Because right now the interim manager is Chad Tracy,
Yeah, he was with the AAA,
the Worcester.
the Worcester Sox. I don't know, but I mean, I
Could
think
you see them waiting till the season's over to
I
hire
do.
a new manager?
Yeah, I do. I think the dream manager would be
Joe
Jason
Madden.
Varitek. No, I think Jason Varitek. I think would be because everybody was upset that they let him, that he had to resign. So I don't know if Joe would come out of retirement to coach. Maybe he would. I don't know. I heard an interview with him about a year and a half ago, and he was happy with being retired and writing books. So I don't think he's going to want to come back.
Well, there is one team he might come out of retirement for if they were to get rid of their manager, like everybody wants him to. And I think Brett. Who do we talk about on the pre-show all the time? The fan base wants this guy gone. They want this guy not playing anymore.
The Phillies.
No.
No.
AL East. They're located in St. Pete.
Oh, the Rays.
Yes, their fan base always wants Kevin Cash gone. Hi to the two people that have commented. Hi. Yes, we've talked about it numerous times that there's Rays fans that want Kevin Cash gone, that want Taylor Walsh shouldn't be playing every day anymore. Ben Williamson shouldn't be No, not Ben Williamson. Richie Palacio shouldn't be on this roster anymore. Well, why don't you try playing in the majors for one day and see? Mm-hmm. I will say the unsung MVP this early in the season has been Ben Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to play basically, I would say, almost every day or every other day at second base. He's made the other night. He made a really good play at shortstop, and I think it's going to be a tough decision who you send down when Gavin Lux comes back.
Yeah.
I don't think you can send Ben Williamson down.
No. That's
It's probably gonna be Richie Palacios.
it's a good problem, Bud, to have. Honestly, it's a good problem to have when you have players like that. Um, when you have that problem, when you have too many good players.
Yeah. And then the latest one is people like, oh, Cedric Mullins shouldn't be playing every day. The only reason he's in the lineup is for his defense.
Correct.
He's, as a Rays fan and you as a Red Sox fan, we know what Cedric Mullins brings defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask a Rays fan like me what he did against the Rays when he was with Baltimore and playing center field at Camden Yards. All the great catches he made, all the highlight reels.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does have some power, but you're not going to get he was a one-time 30 homer guy.
Correct.
Not anymore. But now let's get to our second segment, and that is our weekend series preview. And I will let you give your American League first because I did the same thing, but I did it a different way.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I'm going to start with the Rangers and Tigers. Both of these teams are struggling record-wise. Now the team the Tigers are at 500 at 15-15. I think I did my notes a couple of days ago. That's what they were now. So that's kind of interesting because the Tigers, I think, were favored to win the AL Central this year. So that's kind of shocking. And the Rangers are under 500. So I think this is a series where both of these teams need to get some early wins to get some momentum going early on. So that's my first one. Second one is Astros and Red Sox. Again, these two teams, too, are also not doing so well. The Red Sox have obviously cleaned out.
And the thing with the Astros and Red Sox is they do not like each other.
They do not. No, they do not.
And I believe the Red Sox have a guy that's going to be making his major league debut tomorrow night that they acquired in the offseason.
The Red Sox are?
Yes, I believe Jake Bennett, who the Red Sox acquired from the Nationals in the offseason, is going to be making his big league debut tomorrow on the mound for the Red Sox.
Cool.
And who is your last weekend series in the American League?
Is the Guardians and the A's. Now, these two teams, especially the A's, have been a surprise. They lead the AL West. Rephrase that. The A's lead the AL West. Not haven't done that since Moneyball days.
Was that on anybody's bingo card going into the season?
I don't think it was. Honestly, I don't think it was. But yeah, when I was looking that up the other day, I'm like, oh, okay, they're in first place. And also, I think the Guardians are off to a good start too. I think this, and
as we talked about earlier, they called up Travis Bazzana.
Correct. That is correct.
Which I think we're going to start seeing more prospects get called up within the next 2 or 3 weeks, probably.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
And so those were your three. My three. Mm-hmm. My first one is the Rays and the Giants. And there's some interesting pitching matchups this weekend for the Giants and Rays series. On Friday, you've got Robbie Ray going against Shane McClanahan. Good luck scoring runs and that's on Friday if you're the Rays and the Giants. Saturday is Schultens and Roop. And Sunday is Steven Matz against, who was it? It was Matz. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. I had it written down and then it must have disappeared on me. was Steven Matz. Oh, Steven Matz against Tyler Mahle. So, and you're going to tell me that's not three really good pitching matchups, especially Jesse Schulten's. The Rays have found something in Jesse Schulten's. And Brad, I think you can agree with me on that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
32-year-old journeyman. He was with the White Sox, got cut by the White Sox. And speaking of the White Sox, they're my next weekend series. They go to San Diego to take on the Padres. The pitching matchup Friday is a doozy. It's Ilman Marquez and Noah Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
So the wily vet against the youngster, the rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, Sean Burke against Michael King. Sunday, Anthony Kay against Randy Vasquez. And then my final weekend series in the American League is the Astros and Red Sox. And the pitching matchup on Friday is Mike Burrows and Jake Bennett. Saturday, you've got Spencer Arrighetti and Connolly Early. And Sunday, the finale of the Red Sox Astros series, you've got Tong T-O-N-G and Reyher Suarez. Can the Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Astros?
I think they can. We just lost Garrett Crochet, too. So that's that fuel to the fire.
Just lost Garrett Crochet?
Yeah, he's on the injured list, I think. I thought I saw that pop up.
That must be why Bennett's up then.
Yeah. I think they hang on a second. Let me look that up real quick. But I think he was added to placed on the injured list. Red Sox call up Speedster to take roster spot. Yeah, Jake Bennett is the one they've called up. Yep. So that's why Bennett's up. Crochet is on the.
Did they say what he's on the IL with?
Shoulder inflammation.
Oh, yay. Lovely. The old shoulder inflammation.
Shoulder inflammation. Yeah.
So who are your 3 NL weekend series?
I'm going to start with the Reds and the Pirates. This is a division rival game between the two. And the Reds are in first place as we speak. The Reds own first place in the NL Central. And the Pirates.
I think we thought we would be saying that at some point this year.
And I believe every team in that division is above 500. I think is the only division in baseball that every team is above 500 in that division. So that the Pirates are only 3.5 games out, which means if they sweep them, they'd still be a half game behind the Reds. But I think it's going to be a good series between those two teams. The Dodgers and the Cardinals, obviously, anytime you mention the Dodgers, it is what it is.
Who need I add? Just lost a 3-game series to the Marlins.
And oh, by the way, they're behind my fan favorite Padres right now in the division. So let's mark that down. They're not in first place right now. So throw that out there.
Let's keep it that way the rest of the season.
Yeah. And the Cardinals are only 3 games out as well from the Reds
let's look at this. We both of us said the Cardinals were not going to be very good this year. And you think they had somebody secretly watching our show? They took it.
Bulletin board material.
Yep, exactly. Bulletin board material. They said, here, these 2 guys are saying that we're not going to be very good this year. Let's go on and prove them wrong. Who is your next weekend series in the NL?
The last is also an NL Central matchup between the Brewers. It's the Brewers and the Nationals. The Nationals aren't in the NL Central. They're in the NL East. That's not really a good division, the NL East, other than the Braves. I think everyone else below
Braves
them.
are the first team to 20 wins. And I learned this stat the other day. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that has not lost a series this year.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay.
I didn't know that till my friend told me the other day, and he's a diehard Braves fan.
Huh. Did not know that. Okay.
My 3 weekend series in the NL. First one is the Braves and the Rockies. And there's some doozy matchups on the mound. Friday, we've got Quintana against Grant Holmes. Saturday, Christopher Sale against a guy that I guess the Rockies have figured out how to fix Chase Dollinger. We saw when he came up last year, he had a 6 ERA. And I think both of us thought, maybe you should just trade him and give up on him.
Right.
But they've figured out how to get him to pitch to a 2 ERA in Coors Field. Let me do I need to repeat that for the people in the back one more time? A 2 ERA. And the way they're doing, he's made one traditional start the entire season. Take a guess at the rest of his starts what he's done. It's a plan. It's something the Rays used to do, and they still do now. They have an opener pitch in front of him, and then he comes out in like the second or third inning. So that's the matchup on the mound Saturday. Sunday is Kyle Freeland and Spencer Strider making his season debut. And let's briefly talk about Spencer Strider. Do we think the Braves are going to let him go more than 50 to 60 pitches in his first start of the year? Because he's coming off injury.
They'll have a pitch limit for him.
And
what inning is
slowly
increase it.
And by his third or fourth start, he'll be off that limit.
Mm-hmm.
The next weekend series in the NL I would like to preview is the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. Does that sound enticing to you?
It does.
And it's in Wrigley, need I add.
Oh, 3-game series in Wrigley Field? Okay.
Oh, sign me up. The pitching matchups are as follows. Colin Ray and Zach Gallen on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Shota Imanaga and Ryan Nelson on a Saturday. Merrill Kelly, if I could say his name correctly. Merrill Kelly and Matthew Boyd on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of those pitching matchups entice you? Or do you think it's just going to be a lot of runs?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring series between those two teams.
Do any of those pitchers make it out of the fourth inning?
Ooh, tough to say.
Especially if it's windy at Wrigley.
Yeah, that's tough to say.
If you get a good wind going to left or right field, those pitchers can kiss a quality start right at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And the last weekend series that I would like to preview is the Phillies and the Marlins. And the Marlins are in second place in the NL East.
Mm-hmm.
Was that on your bingo card?
No, it was not.
But mine either. We said third place for the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't expecting second. and the matchups are pretty good. Friday, you got two young pitchers going, Andrew Painter and Yuri Perez.
Mm-hmm.
How many strikeouts in that game? Saturday is Aaron Nola and Max Meyer. Oh, no. Saturday is Zach Wheeler and Max Meyer. Sunday is Aaron Nola and Chris Paddock. Ugh. And I'm not saying ugh to Aaron Nola. I'm saying ugh to Chris Paddock. as we are not Twins fans, but we know what Twins fans went through when they had Chris Paddock. It was not very good. Who is your player to watch this weekend?
You know what? I talked about this series. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Jordan Walker of the Cardinals. That's who I'm going to look.
I'll say this before I say my player to watch. Jordan Walker has looked like a changed man for the Cardinals this year. Who knew getting a new hitting coach in there would fix Jordan Walker? What would 2026 Jordan Walker say to 2025 Jordan Walker?
I'm glad I made the change.
Yep. My player to watch is Sal Stewart of the Reds, who, when they played the Rays, he torched the Rays. And that was not a good series for the Rays. We don't need to we don't need to revisit it. Other than, the Rays just got before we get to our next ball and before we get to the ball strike segment, revisit the Rays for a minute. They took 2 out of 3 in Cleveland. They could have swept the Guardians, but game 3, which was supposed to start at 105, you gotta love that Ohio weather. It just decided, you know what? No, you're not going to start on time today. We're going to delay the game an hour and 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, the Guardians, we do have some really good young hitters. But the one I want to talk about real quick is Kyle Manzardo. And there's people out there saying that the Guardians need to give up on him and call up Ralphie Velasquez. Look, we're only in May. We're 2 months into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys just start off the season cold.
Correct.
Look at perfect example as a Rays fan. Look at I'm not going to use Cedric Mullins. Look at Taylor Walls. He's hitting 210 maybe right now. But I didn't know this. The other day, he walked 3 times. Is that something that we normally see from Taylor Walls?
Nope. Usually he strikes out.
Maybe that time on the IL, he spent some time with Chad Mottola, and Chad Mottola told him, look, you got to start being more disciplined at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Not chasing. Don't get me wrong, Taylor Walls, when he gets on base, he's pretty good at stealing bases, but he's no Chandler Simpson.
No.
There will never be another Chandler Simpson. Unless your name's Bobby Witt Jr. or Corbin Carroll. Chandler Simpson's one of one. And the thing I've noticed with Chandler Simpson is he's a lot better hitter this year than he was last year. He's not chasing those pitches outside the zone. He's more disciplined at the plate.
Yeah, but I mean, I think after a while, you have to think of be more patient. And I think it sometimes takes the young guys a little bit longer to get to that form of being patient at the plate and not swinging at everything that comes up there. And when you're patient, it benefits.
See, but the only thing with Chandler is he's not a home run hitter.
But if you get on base and steal bases, that's still just as much better. I mean, just as good as a home run. So
well, and he can easily come around the bases within 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, so he has the speed factor too. So yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, if he steals second, he could steal third, and a bad throw, he ends up taking home.
Correct.
That's why I think pitchers have gotten a lot smarter when he's at the plate. They're like, we can't throw anything over the middle of the plate because And if we try to throw something outside the zone, he might take his bat and just sweep it into like left or right field, because that's what I've noticed this year. He's not afraid to hit to all fields. It felt like last year he only went to Gavin, we're doing awesome. But last year it felt like with Chandler that he refused to use center field. He would go to left or right. This year, I don't know. Well, you can't really watch any of the Rays games, but you've probably seen highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen that he's not afraid to use left field, center field, and right field.
Well,
his defense has improved vastly too. The other day in Cleveland, he made a really good catch in foul territory.
No, it's good. You're right, but it's good to see him go to all fields, because then that opens up you can't just say, oh, he's going to go to left, oh, he's going to go to right. If then the defense can't pick up on that, the pitchers can't, pitch him that way if he's able to go to all fields. So that makes him more dangerous.
Well, and then the other thing with him is you still got the element of surprise. He could drop down a bunt anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, the other guy on the Rays that surprised me in limited playing time is Ryan Vilade. Neither of us really knew a lot about him before he got to the Rays, because he didn't really have that much major league time. He was with the Rockies. He was with the Phillies for a little bit, and they really didn't give him a chance. But he comes to the Rays, and he had a big hit the other night against the Guardians in the 7th inning after Aranda tied the game. Which, hey, your pick for Aranda leading the team in home runs is looking.
I'm guessing, but from what I'm reading, he wants us to subscribe. Is that my?
Yeah. We got you. We'll subscribe after the show's over. And the other thing I'm going to say before we get back to what we were talking about is keep grinding. It took me a while to get a lot of subscribers. Mm-hmm. As you see now, I have over 1,000. It took me a while. I just kept going. I didn't give up.
I just got 100 myself, so it took me a long time. So, yep.
But back to this, but like Ryan Vilade, or no, what I was saying about. Yes, there's the factor of time, but also what I'm going to say is I used to only do this 3 days a week. Now I try to do it maybe 4 days a week. But whatever best suits you, and don't burn yourself out.
Yeah, that's what you got to not do.
Don't burn yourself out and feel like you have to do it
every day.
Do 2 or 3 videos a day. I only do 2 or 3 videos a day because I have different podcasts I run. I run this podcast. I run another baseball podcast and 2 college football podcasts. And you also need to balance time with family, work, if you're in school. But your thing with your home run, the prediction you made in the preseason about Aranda leading the team in home runs, it looks like it's working its way to being true.
Yeah, he and I mean he's also not so much true with hitting. I think he's gotten better defensively as a first baseman too.
He has. That's why you barely see Yandy at first base this year.
Well, and I also think too, Bud, with Yandy Diaz, he's gotten to that age where he should be a DH. You know what I mean? Like, he's gotten to that point in his career where I think it's time for that certain things where he should be the everyday DH. So,
well, and the thing is, there's people out there saying the Rays need to trade Yandy.
For
And I'm like,
what are they going to get back in return for him?
that's what I'm saying. Why would you trade Yandy? Like, they're saying if the Rays fall out of it, that Yandy could get traded, Steven Matz could get traded, Nick Martinez could get traded.
Well, I mean, again,
Matz and Martinez kind of make a little sense,
right?
Because who can't use starting? Who name me a team that doesn't need starting pitching?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does.
Correct.
But now to ball and strike, which this is going to be an interesting segment this week because we're going to talk about prospects. And hold on, let me move my TV. So, okay, we're back. Okay, so ball and strike, we kind of went over it last week, what it is. It's basically, we've got topics we talk about, which today is prospects. And Brad's going to name a prospect. Ball basically means they're not getting called up this year. Strike means they will get called up at some point this year. So start us off.
Max Clark.
Strike. He's been mashing in AAA. The Tigers need outfield help with not Riley Green, with Parker Meadows being on the injured list with a broken, I want to say, wrist from a collision he had in the outfield with Riley Green a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
Yes, I agree. And Gavin, I just subscribed to your brother's channel, by the way. Yes, I agree. I agree, but I agree that he needs to. You mean give you another one?
Yes.
How about Emmanuel Rodriguez of the Twins?
This one I'm going to say middle, so not ball, not strike. Because, I mean, where would he play right now? Like, he got Buxton in center, maybe left field. Because I don't know how much you can trust Austin Martin.
Mm-hmm.
But then in right, you got Trevor Larnach. So, I mean, I guess I could go strike.
Okay.
What would you say?
I would say strike as well, but I think but then again,
well, and then I would say definitely strike after the trade deadline because I think Buxton's going to get moved. I don't think the Twins are going to give him the choice of not waiving his no trade clause.
Correct. The next one, but is Bryce Eldridge. Did he already get called up, or is he still?
No, the Giants said he was going to make the opening day roster, and he didn't end up doing it. And the reason was they want him to work on some stuff in the minors. Have you seen what he's doing in AAA? He's hitting over 300.
Uh-huh.
And he just went, I believe, 6-for-6 the other day.
Yep.
Why is he in AAA?
He's currently hitting 360 with an on-base percentage of 492 and an OPS of 520. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's nothing to scoff at. He should be on the major league roster. Devers needs to be your DH. I'm going to say strike. They need to call him up at some point.
I would agree with you, bud. I totally agree.
They have one of the worst. I saw this stat earlier today. They walk the least amount of times. They strike out the most. They have the least home runs in the National League. And they have the lowest on-base percentage in the National League, the Giants. If that doesn't tell you something, You probably need to go get your eyes looked at if you're in that Giants front office. I'm not talking about you, Buster Posey. I'm talking about all the other people in the front office.
Right.
All those jabronis, as Dwayne would say.
The last one I have is Noah Schultz.
He's already up, and he's
okay.
so now we can throw in the guys for the Rays I talked about, Dominic Keegan and Brody Hopkins. I saw something. I'm going to say with Brody Hopkins, I'm going to say ball because I follow this guy that's a Rays fan on Twitter, and he was talking about how Brody Hopkins is struggling with his command in AAA, and how he's probably going to need a full year down there in AAA to figure some stuff out. Dominic Keegan, I really don't know which way to go with him because, I mean, Fortes has started off the season hot. If I say strike, maybe it's Hunter Fiducia.
Well,
because it seems like
he's a catcher, so yeah.
Well, and the thing with Keegan is he can also play first base. And what do the Rays like? Positional versatility. And Keegan's already on the 40, so he would be able to be called up without any issue. Hopkins, if you were to call him up, I'm pretty sure he's not on the 40, so you would have to DFA somebody or put somebody on the IL, and they would have to be transferred to the 60-day IL in order for Hopkins to be called up. I think if either one gets called up, it's going to be Keegan because it seems like right now the growing trend is everybody wants Hunter Fiducia off this team because he's terrible at defense. He's not a good defensive catcher. He can't hit. What I just don't understand, and I'm starting a new podcast on Saturday, specifically centered toward the Rays, and I'm going to talk about it more on that. But what is the issue with Hunter Fiducia? Like, why do Rays fans want him gone?
Well, again, I think sometimes they claim that, they know what's best for the team, and, again, they hide behind their keyboards or whatever.
It's like, would you go to Eric Neander and say that to his face that you want Hunter Fiducia off the team?
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't because he'd just look at me and start laughing probably. he would say, go back to being a fan.
Exactly.
And to wrap it up, why don't you tell them about your show?
Yeah, so what we're going to do tonight, guys, is we're going to go through all 32 teams and their draft grades. Obviously, the draft was last week. I did enjoy New Orleans, by the way. I just got back on Tuesday. But we'll be talking about draft grades. We'll go. I know WrestleMania is far but over. I'm sure we'll review that because we didn't get an opportunity to review that. We'll be talking about the Live Tour. I don't know how much longer that golf tour is going to be alive. Obviously, the PGA won the war. So the war in the golf. But we'll be over there, guys, on the Walker Report YouTube channel at 8 o'clock. So be over there. Alec will be there. The four of us will be back together. So hop on over there and give us some comments and stuff like that. Hopefully see you over there at 8 o'clock.
And before we hop off of here, don't forget, you can see this episode of the Around the Diamond podcast on the sportsbreakdown.net website. And all the other stuff, as I told you this morning, I'm still working on my personal prospect list that's updated. So you will not see the name Kevin McGonigal on there, Connor Griffin. You won't see any of the prospects that have gotten called up already. It's all new prospects. And that is also where during the college football season, you can catch our podcast episodes of college football, the podcast we run there. And you can catch our top 25 over there as well. Just a little programming note. Week 2 of the college football season, we might not have a lot of episodes because we will both be up in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the Michigan-Oklahoma game. And Brad, why don't you tell them what I put you in charge of?
I'll put me in charge of trying to get media credentials for that game. So
what other game did I put you in charge of getting media credentials for?
That would be Florida, Georgia. So the biggest outdoor cocktail party. So yes.
So, and Brad is going to be hard at work trying to get us media credentials for both of those games starting next month.
Mm-hmm.
And not in May, in June and July.
June and July. Yep.
When the media credential stuff opens. But that'll wrap up this episode of the Around the Diamond podcast. We will see everybody at 8 o'clock.